One of the innovations of the AMEE conference a few years ago, which is now being developed even further, is the use of e-posters. And you'll see from the wall behind us that there are an enormous number of e-posters submitted this year. Ken, how many are there?
This year we've had about 285 posters that have been submitted, e-posters.
Yeah. And this is really a new way of presenting, for an individual to present their research material or their curriculum development material. I don't quite understand how it works. I see a lot of posters here covered with very large postcards with a lot of information on them. How do I access an e-poster?
Okay, so firstly, if I just explain a little bit about the advantage of having an e-poster rather than a paper poster. With a paper poster, your big problem is space. Right? You're confined to that space. You've done a lovely piece of research. You have 8 charts that show what you want to do. You can't put these 8 charts into your poster. If you put them all in, nobody can read the information. If you put only 2 of them in, then people say, why did you hide the other 6? Okay. How many references do you put in? The moment you go over 1 or 2, people might say, why are you only putting in these references? Also, they might say, oh, that's an interesting reference. I want to find out more about that paper. How do they capture the information? They can't actually see the paper, right? So you're really confined. And of course, there's no such thing as video or audio or the Twitter feeds or anything like that. It's a static piece of thing which you lug on the plane all the way here and hope that the aircraft it doesn't get lost, and then you lug all the way back. All right. So we come to the e-poster, and to your question, how do we actually get it? Right. So you see all the e-posters here. I get a general description of the poster. So I have a title, I have a description, and then this is the most important part. This is the QR code, because now I want to see what the poster looks like. So I use the app, and I actually simply snap on the QR code, and the poster appears on my mobile device.
Right, that's what you've got there.
All right, so this is one that I've just been looking at now. So we can have a look at this. And you can see that it's laid out in a series of tiles. So the first thing I can see immediately with the authors, I don't just have a single line of name or whatever. I have the photographs of the authors. For this author, I can go in, I can see far more information. In this case, she's put a link. It's actually her email address, so I can email her directly if I wish to. People put in LinkedIn, their Twitter, anything like that, right? And you can see there's a tremendous amount. I mean, she's put in quite a large amount of her CV. You could never do that with a paper poster. I mean, that would be the full amount in your paper poster. And we can see with the co-authors also. All right. Then we come on to a standard text. This is now the abstract. Okay. Again, this is what you would find in a standard poster. And now we start going to a little bit more detail. So you can see this poster, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charts. Again, on a paper poster, forget it, not going to happen, all right? Whereas we can see all this information, and she could have 20 charts if she wanted. There, it's actually more than one author. Then, in this case, the references, and often what happens, as has been done in this case, the reference can then hot link to the actual paper itself, or to PubMed, or to anything like that. Yeah. And then we go into a little bit more. She might actually they might have full documents, all right? So in this case, they've actually taken part of a PowerPoint presentation, and this might be the PowerPoint presentation that they will actually give when they present, all right? And of course, it can be, as you can see, more images. It can be a PowerPoint. It can be a PDF, a Word document, all that kind of stuff. And often when you have your poster, there's extra information, but if where do you put it? And you arrive with 50 copies of an appendix, and nobody wants it, and then what do you do with it? Or otherwise you arrive only with 5, and 50 people ask for it. This can all be done online.
So the individual looking at the poster now has the opportunity to go into it in depth according to their interest in this particular topic.
Absolutely.
Which presumably the postcard has initiated that, but now they can really dig into it if they want to.
Absolutely. And then, of course, with the paper poster, you can't stand at your paper poster all day, all right? So you're there for a short while, people are going along, and you want to know, what did they really think of my poster? Well, with the e-poster, you can see what they've done is that in this case, they have a feedback form. So you can actually tap on it, and this would usually people would just use something like Google Forms or SurveyMonkey or anything like that, and then you can say what did you like about the poster, anything like that. Okay. Yeah, and they have a few extra things. For instance, they can go directly to Instagram, or in this case, right, they want to go off to the Twitter feed, and it automatically loads up Twitter.
Okay, so these are other people's comments and feedback on the poster?
Yeah, well, in this case, she would be going to a generic Twitter feed, perhaps in the department or something like that. The Twitter feed could go to a particular address, or it could be a particular hashtag, and you don't only have to have one, you can have 3, 4, 5, as many as you want. And so that's just a very, very quick tour about
very powerful,
yes,
isn't it?
Extremely powerful.
I should obviously get a QR reader on my iPhone
Yes.
now. But there's another side to the story, isn't there, Ken? This is how to access the poster. Now I'm here in the conference. How if I was back home wanting to submit an e-poster for next year's conference? How do I go about
All right,
that?
it's exactly the same way as you would submit an abstract for anything at AMEE. You go to the submission page. When you go in, you will select poster / e-poster, and then you fill in the details just as you would do with any other submission, and off it goes. Yes.
Grant, thanks very much.
All right.
I think I know a lot more about them now.
Pleasure.
Thank you.